Welcome to the sixth session of Patanjali Meditation 101. As we have been doing in the past few sessions, let's devote first few minutes on meditation. We are familiar with these 5 steps. Having taken a body posture, we will devote a couple of minutes on deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. Then take a slight pause and then instruct our mind with that sound to become calm. And then focus our mind between the two eyebrows and then eventually disconnect from it and walk into our cave. And if a thought is likely to come in, we will attempt to repel it with that same sound of instruction. Let's begin with deep breathing. Meanwhile, I will move to the moderator room. Deep breathe out. Hold the breath out. Deep breathe in. Hold the breath within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. One more last cycle. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. We are letting our breathing to become normal. Let's instruct our mind with the sound 5 times. Om. 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 Oh, women guys, will you open our eyes? Today we have quite a few issues to discuss. Last week we have talked sleep and meditation. What are their similarities and how they are different from each other? Today we'll discuss the concept of inner energy. We know it, our physical body has energy, and we have a lot of strength in our mind also. But could there be some energy associated with our deep consciousness, innermost domain of ours? We will like to look at that, explore it. That is partly covered in the introductory chapter 1 as well as towards the end in chapter 9 also, how to gain it. And also we are going to discuss, touch upon again meditation and sleep. In particular, how they can work together so that we are away from stress. Stress is a very burning problem in modern society where we are working excessively with our mind. Young people have hyperactive mind, multitasking. That has become their routine lifestyle. And we know it. We cannot change the external demands, external forces, but could it be possible that within the same commitments, can I be away from stress? And that's what we will see, how meditation can help one. We have seen this last week also, that day is to work and night is to rest. And sleep is a wonderful gift of the nature, and we all benefit from it. Let's look at it, a particular description that how sleep and meditation together can keep one away from stress. Let's look at a child. We consider a child first. Body and mind are our two instruments, and as a child, we also did that. We are using them quite equitably. A child plays around, does some studies, and is using life in a very natural manner. So the body and mind are used, what I say, equitably. Notionally, so the red color is from the morning, the child is picking up fatigue of this domain. As you work with the body and mind, you are getting slightly tired. So that tiredness, I will use the word fatigue. So the red color is work builds up fatigue. So the body domain picks up some fatigue, gradually going to a notional 100% level by the end of the day. Similarly, the mind fatigue is also gradually building up, reaching the level of 100% at the end of the day. Then the child falls asleep, and during the sleep, that is the beauty of the phenomenon of sleep, that fatigue, the tiredness is dissipated. It is washed out. The green color reflects that. So entire fatigue has been washed out, and in the morning, child is refreshed from both body and mind. That goes on in a cyclic manner day after day. So the child is normally not in any stressful situation, is enjoying life. But let's consider, so that's what it is. Child is refreshed next morning, body and mind are reset to their equilibrium by sleep, and now the new day begins. Let's look at the same situation for an adult. And as we know it, in the modern times, our instruments of body and mind are not used equitably. So I will characterize it as underused body and overworked mind. So you know it, we use escalators, elevators, an automobile, and all kinds of mechanical gadgets that we don't do much work with our body system. And when it comes to our mind, we have a lot of things to worry about. So as I said, we are very hyperactive. We are trying to use every moment and trying to be smart, even if we are doing multiple things together, what is called multitasking. So the mind is overburdened. So conceptually, one could say that body fatigue is only 40%. These are notional figures. The magnitude has no relevance, just to dramatize situation. So the body fatigue is very much less, whereas the mind fatigue could be 120%, 20% extra. Now, at the end of the day, assuming that also is not very much guaranteed, assuming this adult goes easily into sleep and has good quality sleep, like the child has, which is also an assumption, but let's assume that for a while, then during the sleep, the body fatigue is dissipated, but when it comes to mind fatigue, not the entire mind fatigue is dissipated. Sleep does its work best and 100% is dissipated, but the person started with 120%. So there is a kind of residual mental fatigue to the extent of 20% in this diagram. So the person typically wakes up next morning using an alarm clock and goes on for his commitment. So that 20% residual fatigue is somewhere inside his system, but as he gets going, it is not that visible because the system is so good that you can overlook it and again get busy with all your work and commitments. So that is what we are saying here, that in case of an adult, there is a residual mental fatigue every day. And that residual mental fatigue adds day by day and can build up a monster called stress. So what we are trying to say is that every day that residual mental fatigue is kind of becoming like a drop of stress and is sitting somewhere in your mind. You may not be quite aware of it. It's happening day after day, months after months, years after years. And now if you are, say, 45, 55, suddenly something may happen, like we know it. Many people end up in a hospital with a stroke, with a heart attack, and something undesirable. Then doctor says that you are leading a stressful life. Nobody could measure stress. There is no thermometer or biometer to measure it, but this kind of a thing happens. Of course, say such a person is leading this kind of lifestyle that we have seen in the previous diagram, this diagram. Somebody may say he has lived like this, say 20 years, and suppose he has been laid off from his work, he has lost his job, and after some time he ends up in a hospital with a stroke. Now there are different ways to speculate. Somebody will say he got into stress because he was laid off. But maybe there were many people were laid off, but not everybody ends up in a hospital. So what we are trying to say here is that this lifestyle has caused residual mental fatigue every day, and that was adding up, adding up, adding up. Actually, that is the root cause of stress and not the fact that he has been laid off. The fact he has been laid off is merely like a stimulus. It's like igniting with a matchstick, but if there is already a fuel vapor, that will burn like a fire, isn't it? So the fuel vapor in an enclosed room is the cause of the fire, and not that matchstick is the cause of the fire. Or somebody switching on the light that causes a spark and the whole room picks up fire. Somebody will say, you switched on the light and that caused the fire. No, that is not the right answer. The right answer is the fire was caused because the full fuel vapor was allowed to fill up the room, isn't it? So this is what we will say here, The cause of stress, the fact that individual ended up in a hospital is not because he was laid off, it was he brought his mind in a situation that any event such as laid off or somebody in his family with a cancer is diagnosed as a cancer or any such thing could have caused stroke to him. What he was ready with that full amount of stress in his mind. So the cause is this lifestyle, and that is merely a stimulus. It is just working as a matchstick. That is not the cause of the fact that he ended up in a hospital. So that is the way we look at it. Now we say meditation during the day can dissipate the residual mental fatigue. Let's go back to this slide. What we are saying is, if the same person, he cannot change his external demands at work, at home, and all kinds of demands and commitments he has to meet. But he can do one thing, he can add a regime of meditation practice in his daily life. Now, if he practices meditation, most likely this 20% of residual mental fatigue will be dissipated by the practice or daily practice of meditation. So then he goes to sleep. Sleep takes care of 100%, and his meditation practice takes care of 20%. This way, next morning, he is refreshed again like a child. So he stays away from stress. That is what we are saying. The modern life is very demanding, which we cannot change, but we can bring in a new element of our daily Patanjali meditation in our daily practice so that meditation and sleep together. Sleep is a nature's gift, and meditation is you have consciously adopted this practice. They together ensure that you are away from stress forever. So, daily meditation and sleep work hand in hand to dissipate mental fatigue same day so that there is no stress buildup. So, your current account of mental fatigue is zero. You don't let it build up. On the same day, you wipe it out. Just like as a child, you were starting the day refreshed with no mental fatigue in your mind, and then you are able to lead a stress free life forever. So, that is how Patanjali meditation can be very helpful in modern times to stay away from stress. Today is our sixth session, which is the concluding session for what I call the basic module of Patanjali meditation, PM100. My idea is if you cannot devote, otherwise, this whole entire course, PM101, is 16-week course, where we go at more length, and more important than discussion is your practice. So if you are practicing for 16 weeks, we are going together, then you will see that more and more benefits are visible. But 6 weeks is also, I have seen, is a minimum period when a beginner, a newcomer can learn basics of meditation, and not only learn, in these 6 weeks, some of you have seen also, must have seen that you are able to get some benefit. Of course, the condition is you must practice it almost every day, at least I will say 5 days a week. So that is very important that I emphasize again and again. To draw benefit from this course, of course, you are attending weekly, that is good. But besides this, you must practice every day. Then only because you are learning, but practice is in your hand, and that only can bring all the kinds of benefits. So what we have seen, we are following a Patanjali's strategy which goes to the extent of mindlessness. We are very much emphasizing empty blank mind. That is where the second and third order benefits will come. So what is happening is natural forces wash and service your mind, and that leads to transformation in mind. Like I give this example of an automobile. You are driving it, you are transporting yourself from place A to place B, and then once you have reached the destination, you get out of it. And you are using it every day, the automobile. But there comes a time you don't want to take a chance. You don't want the car to break down in the middle of a highway. So this is functioning fine. Still, you don't want to take a chance. You are overcautious. You take it to your expert mechanic. You don't see any fault in your car, but you know that expert mechanic will bring the car in a very equilibrium condition. But in that time period, you are not able to use the car. It is with him. So when you want to get yours, any system, say laptop, an automobile, or whatever it is, get it washed and serviced, it must be in its inactive mode. That is why we emphasize so much. Let us bring our mind to a calm state. Of course, it's a very relative state, and in one of the sessions we have discussed at length the journey from step 4 to step 5, which goes through a different kind of benchmarks and plateau, etc. But whatever you are, the beauty of the journey is you are gaining some benefits and you are also gaining proficiency to become entitled to the next plateau. So wherever you are, it is like that level of servicing and washing is possible. So when you are with inactive mind, you are slightly disconnect from it, and then the natural forces are able to bring it to a good condition. We know it very well. There are natural forces within us that cause what we call detoxification. When we go to sleep, our body is detoxified, isn't it? So early in the morning, we have to throw away all kinds of waste products because during the night, when we were in sleep, body was going through the detoxification. Similarly, this is why meditation is one step above sleep, because when you are with empty blank mind, you are disconnect from your mind is being washed and serviced. That causes what we say transformation in mind. So having discussed, if I am a young man in my 20s and I adopt Patanjali meditation as my daily practice, then our previous discussion is helpful. I will stay away from stress forever because I am performing meditation every day. Sleep and meditation together will ensure that. But somebody who is, say, 55, 65 and has picked up a significant level of stress in his life, he is asking, can Patanjali meditation help me? That is why this slide is important. Yes, even if you have a baggage of stress and now you have picked up the daily practice of Patanjali meditation, your stress is somewhere embedded in your mind. And now, when you are with empty, blank mind, you are disconnect. The natural forces are washing it. They wash away the stress that you had accumulated in the previous years of life. So this is what three statements here are. When we are disconnect from mind, we are watering the root as if there is an energy source in the universe, and that energizes right at my soul, right at my inner consciousness. That's what I call inner energy. This we'll discuss slightly at length because this is kind of end of Patanjali meditation 100. I am trying to make a review also, trying to give you some new concepts and also give you an idea what we are likely to discuss in the remaining part of this course. Today we are almost completing 1/3 of the course. So watering the root is very important. Like when you water the root of a plant, It shows up in all its branches and leaves. So now you might have seen it. We are practicing meditation. We go deep in our cave, but a lot of wonderful things happen in our body domain, in our mind domain. And that is what I call as watering the root. And you are absorbing some sort of inner energy, which is the spiritual domain. My consciousness is the reservoir of that inner energy that takes away, like it's like an antidepressant, actually. Because like a small child, when a child smiles, you return home very tired, but you are forced to smile back, isn't it? Because this was the power of the child's inner energy, that his smile forced you back and you forget your tiredness for a while. That's kind of, these are the lack of inner energy that can cause one depressed and losing interest in life, etc. All that is not possible if you are able to perform Patanjali meditation to the extent that, yes, I am with blank mind. And as I said, if you have, unfortunately, carried a baggage of stress from previous years, then stress from previous years will also get washed away. So this is what is slightly difficult, Patanjali meditation, and insisting that mind is blank. But if you are aiming towards that, the rewards are immense. I cannot overemphasize that part. There is a lot of things to benefit from that. Another thing I want to say today, Patanjali meditation, from coming from Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, you might have seen it defies some common beliefs and ideas. Up till now, we accepted certain things just like that, and we never questioned it. So I am proud to say that during the entire length of the course will build up and will empower you from three very strong points, which I will call it as defiance. The first you have already seen in this part of the course. The latter two are yet to come, but you might be able to visualize them. That's why they are in red color. So the number one you have seen is normal versus, so-called normal versus abdominal and diaphragmatic breathing. If you visit a doctor, he says, take a deep breath. You do it at the chest level, everything is fine. He puts his stethoscope, and probably I don't think there is any doctor, or there may be some few exceptions, they will never complain. They will never say that your breathing is abnormal. It is just it is accepted as a normal breathing, what is called rib cage or coastal breathing. Only this upper volume is being utilized. But we have, right from day one in this particular course, we have emphasized that was not that may be characterized as normal, because in the statistical sense, millions of people are breathing like that. But we don't accept it as a normal, because we are very much connected to the nature, to the mother nature. As a child, we were breathing diaphragmatic. As a child, we were breathing abdominal breathing. We say that was my breathing pattern, and Patanjali meditation can help me come back to that same pattern. So for us, for those who are practicing Patanjali meditation, please don't accept so-called normal chest level of breathing as your normal breathing. That is not for us. Maybe millions of people are happy with that. We want to improve our breathing, and some of you might have noticed that there is gradual betterment in our breathing pattern. It is getting deeper and deeper. Similarly, you will see in the entire length of the course, and in 1 or 2 weeks later, I am going to discuss so-called sleep hypnogram. Sleep scientists, they ask a subject to go to sleep, they put all kinds of wires in the head region, and they pick up electric voltage which are developing in our brain area. That is called sleep diagram or sleep hypnogram. So we have discussed sleep for a week last week, but we will discuss again 2 or 3 times more. Sleep is very important. So when you will discuss sleep hypnogram, you will see different stages of rapid eye movement 1, non-rapid eye movement 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it is very common. Again, millions of people will say, when I wake up in the morning, I am able to recollect some kind of a dream. And most likely a doctor will say, that's okay, that is normal. Because for them, what is statistically a large fraction of people are doing is normal. They accept it normal. But for Patanjali meditation, that is not normal. We want your sleep to improve to a level that when you wake up next morning, you have no recollection of dreams. So that will be another defiance number 2, I said. And defiance number 3, which I say again and again, in the world, today's world, mindfulness is treated as meditation. They call it as mindfulness meditation, and they generally focus on breathing, which is not quite a location but a process. It is easier to focus and stay focused there for a good length of time. But again, it is not quite what Patanjali has called chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta is our mind scale, and there should be no object there. So if you are observing some process, of course it's a dynamic cyclic process, you are very much focused on it. This is not quite chitta vritti nirodha. So we are insisting on mindlessness as if mind is absolutely blank and I am disconnect from my mind. I am no more aware of my mind also. So that is what gives rise to transformation in mind and many, many more things. That is the beauty of what Patanjali meditation is. Okay, I think I will come back to this as is our practice. We will do the devote some 10-15 minutes on meditation again. But let me, usually I discuss the benefit slide after the practice of meditation. But today, because I am looking at overview of the entire course, and I like to give you a previous list and add up what we have discussed today. So we have discussed all this, that these are, and I am sure quite a few of you are able to see these benefits in your day-to-day life. You are able to do better concentration in work. You are more or less relaxed and calm mind. It is better focus and clarity. Reduce time for a task that saves time. More energetic during the day. And body health, glow and figure, including lifespan. So you see, that is what is the watering the root. We are doing something to our mind, but the benefits comes to the body as well. Easier to enter into sleep. Last week we have discussed it, and today we have seen as if we are gaining some sort of inner energy in our innermost core of existence. And with this kind of a practice, we are able to stay away from stress forever. I want to read out the list of what further topics we'll be discussing. Sleep hypnogram, and a lot of discussion on what is characterized as a typical sleep. And there I will also like to say what are the tips for good sleep. So, we must ensure there is no point in learning meditation but not taking care of your sleep. Sleep and meditation will go hand in hand. You will see that your meditation practice makes your sleep quality improve, and as you improve your sleep quality, your meditation will also improve. Otherwise, there is a very, I won't say very common, but some of you must have felt when you are in meditation, there is kind of a sleepy jerk, as if the body wants to go to sleep. Why does it happen? It happens because your sleep in the previous night was not adequate. And you probably used an alarm clock just to get away from it, but there is some leftover sleep. So, sleep and meditation are very interlinked. That's what we will be discussing. And I also want to say self assessment of sleep and meditation. You know, like when you rise from sleep in the morning, you can assess how was it, what was this quality, how easily you went into sleep. So that just make a mental note of it. You are watching your own sleep over a period of days and weeks. That helps you to assess if meditation is helping me in my sleep. Same thing, I want to point out what to observe, how to assess your quality of meditation. So when your meditation is over, try to see, apply some benchmarks so that you can monitor your own progress in meditation as well. And sleepy jerk doing meditation, which is what I have just pointed out. I also want to point out relative importance of air, water, and food. Of course, we are giving a lot of emphasis on air, and everybody knows it. That is the most important survival substance, without which even a minute I cannot survive. So we have discussed air and its metabolism, chemistry, and deficiency, and so many things. And that's what has helped us to appreciate Patanjali meditation, which can improve my ability to induct air, which is freely available, but we are not inducting to our full capacity. So I like to give I have coined a acronym, WAML. So we should lead a lifestyle, water and air more, and that leads to energetic life. So we'll discuss that also. We'll also look at body as a four-stroke engine, like an internal combustion engine that runs your automobile. And then, in body system also, we throw out the used air and then take in the fresh air. So all kinds of similar things are happening. Diaphragm is almost like working like a piston. So we'll discuss this metaphor, and being in a concept of could there be a super stroke, I can feel very light in the morning. Also, this concept, food for the body, mind, and soul. So, we are aware of food for the body. We also have gone through the education system to supply food to our mind, and then we want to see if there is something like a food for my innermost consciousness, my soul. That's what inner energy is, and that is also we will be discussing, and how Patanjali meditation helps it. Transformation in mind, and leading to the washing and servicing of my mind. Very powerful concept that almost brings out a new personality of yours. Just imagine you go through such a transformation that you become a new person, more natural, with a better instinctive force, with better instinctive qualities. So you don't have to be programmed, or nobody has to tutor you. You are naturally so good, like a child is naturally good, isn't it? So something like that. That sort of a enormous advantage can come from this concept of transformation in mind, even getting away from dependency on certain substances. Somebody picks up smoking or something, difficult to get away from it, but how this can help you, because certain things have been added in your mind by you. And now, with Patanjali meditation, thorough transformation, all those add-ons can be washed out. Just imagine, the power is so much. Meditation and absolute happiness. So as you are practicing meditation, there will be a day you are deep in meditation and you feel something good. You feel that was very good. Just like when you come out of deep sleep, no dreams. Naturally, you have come out of it, you feel that was very good. So that is what I like to describe. Meditation is a counterpart of deep sleep, but in conscious mode. So now you will be consciously getting a taste of that feeling, what is so good, isn't it? And that will be enormous empowerment. Now you will feel that source of happiness is within me. So I don't have to be dependent on any external object or any other people, or you are so much confident now that happiness is within me. I can get it when I want it. And then, of course, this is course will end with a opening that if you are interested in spiritual understanding, spiritual knowledge, it leads to that opening because now you know it. When your mind is calm, this is what you are, your consciousness. This is what is my spirit. That is my first step in spirituality. So all this is very much possible due to Patanjali meditation. So I again like to say these are our 5 steps corresponding to asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana and dhyan. These are 5 Patanjali steps. So this is something I have given you a guideline. If you are still struggling with bombardment of thought wave and all, don't give up. You know, there is a hint that you devote more time to step 2 and let there be less time for step 5, isn't it? So gradually, as you will practice this pranayam, step number 2, the deep breathing, more and more, because the fact is, when you are doing abdominal breathing, your mind is focused on the process of breathing. So your mind is on one thing. So this already helps your mind to get away from all kind of worldly thoughts. So step 2 you can do for a larger time duration. And when you are more confident that no, I am now very much in this zone of somewhere between 4 and 5, then you can reduce your step 2 and devote more time here. Having said that, this is also a good practice during the daytime when you are not sitting for meditation. When you capture 1 or 2 minutes here and there, like you are driving a car and you have stopped at a red traffic light, you have a minute, you can observe your breathing and make it abdominal breathing. So, wherever you get a minute or two here and there, try to shift your breathing to diaphragmatic abdominal breathing. More and more such intervention will help your normal breathing to become, diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, that brings us to the end of the session as far as discussion is concerned. Let's move on to our last action of performing meditation. So we have about 12 minutes. So I put an alarm exact for 19 hours. Let's shake away any stiffness from the body domain. At your home, if you haven't practiced your body posture, if it doesn't cooperate with you for 10, 12, 15 minutes, take the support of wall and you exercise because you know all these steps are means. The end is the blank mind. So nothing should come in between. In these individual 5 steps, you make your journey at your own comfort level. But try to ensure you are already exerting, you are already trying to make progress. Let's move on to the step number 2, deep breathing, 5 cycles of abdominal breathing, each cycle with 4 phases. Deep breathe out, hold the breath out, breathe in, Hold it within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. One more last cycle. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. Let's prepare ourselves for the inward journey. Let's instruct our mind with the sound 5 times. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, gradually open our eyes. That was our session number 6. Have a good time. See you next week.